Hey everybody, Doug here from 2 Plus Stuff, and we are hanging out, gonna talk some Warhammer preview reveal stuff. How you doing? With me is my good friend over here, Donnie from Dice Chatter. How you doing, buddy?
Hey everyone. Hey
I,
Doug.
I
Thanks for
realized
having
I
me.
asked you how you were doing before I introduced you, and I was just like, that's dumb.
Whatever. Who cares?
Oh man. Okay, so this is going to be sort of a weird show. I'm just going to throw it out there. We're going to start it that way. We were both excited about the prospect that they were going to have information about catacombs for Warcry and a few other things. And we both agreed, as we were getting onto the stream, that these are our least favorite kind of previews, where they don't really give us much to chew on. And so, uh, yeah, we're still gonna chat. We're still gonna hang out and have a good time. Talk about
Here's a
things.
book, Doug.
Yeah,
Enjoy
exactly.
it.
I hope that you like cover reveals for books
Yep.
because that's all there is.
Because
So,
I've never seen any of these four models on a book before.
yeah, exactly,
And it's art.
exactly.
So, it's what it is.
And so that's kind of the plan for today. We're just gonna walk through what is there and talk about some stuff because if nothing else, I mean, my interest has slowly evolved to being more for like smaller games, skirmish games, that kind of stuff. So I think there's still stuff to talk about, and we can just get excited. So, does that sound good to you, friend?
That sounds great to me. Where do you want to start? You just want to start at the top of the preview stuff?
I do. Yeah. So we'll
Okay.
go to the top of the preview. Let me just make sure everything's working here on my end. Yeah. Okay. There we are. So, um, they started off with Blood Bowl. Okay, Donnie, do you know
Yeah.
anything about Blood Bowl?
It's a bunch of Brits who try to take NFL and import it into their own fun game, but I have never played Bud Bowl. The models are cool,
Yeah.
but that's about all I can tell you. So,
Okay.
Doug,
No.
this is all you.
Okay. No. 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 That's totally cool. Blood Bowl is one of the better, more successful, I should say, games that Games Workshop has put out. Where it just, once they canceled it, it just had such a fan base that they kept it going for forever. And then when they brought it back, they basically just refreshed what they already did before.
It's apparently 2 seasons now, so I assume that's what, multiple years at this point?
Yes, yeah, yeah. These, let's see, the last Blood Bowl box came out like 2 years ago, I think, something like that.
Okay.
Um, the thing is, though, it suffers. So there's two Blood Bowls in my opinion. Okay, there's Blood Bowl, the miniatures game, and then there's Blood Bowl, the video game. And even though they kind of operate on the exact same premise, the video game doing all the math and calculations and rerolls for you makes it a way better product.
Yeah, that
Because
sounds way easier and way better at the end of the day.
I know, well, because there's so much minutia when it comes to that game. Like it really is like the deepest, most tactical version of like, I don't know, Necromunda on a football field, where like every single model as the season goes on accrues benefits and losses and experience, and it's just there's a ton. There's so much bookkeeping.
Doug, they have more than D6s. They have a D8 and a D10 or a D12. I can't tell what it is. What the
I
hell?
know, I know.
That's why it's so difficult, because we were so used to rolling sixes. We can't roll anything else.
Oh man. So yeah, so this set, the thing is, like we talked about before, we were bummed that there's no details on really any of these previews. Like it was basically it was more of a commercial than a preview or reveal show. But what they did show is that the new box for Blood Bowl comes with everything you need to do, like a full campaign. Like, so one person could buy this, and you two, you and a buddy, could run the entire game, have an entire season. It's pretty cool. It's a cool idea. I just want to see some details about how they streamlined it a little bit. I think that would have been a much sexier selling point than just the stuff. But
Yeah, I would agree. With not knowing too much about it, I mean, I generally look at the models first, especially if it's something I don't know much about.
yeah,
They're fantastic as usual, but
well,
like that
that's
ogre
yeah.
dude. That ogre dude's great.
Oh yeah, he's freaking awesome. Well, that's my
He's like a
thought. Is
bumbling idiot.
I look at this and I'm like, okay, so you showed us the models, but no one's ever accused Blood Bowl of having like since they restarted it, I should clarify. Since they restarted it, no
Yeah.
one's accused them of having terrible models. It's just bad, complex, confusing rules. So it's like, why not talk about that really at all?
I think it's a conversion person's dream right here. This is
Oh yeah.
amazing.
So on the screen for y'all, I'm pulling up the various sculpts they have here. I'm just gonna go through them slowly. So yeah, I mean, I did a conversion for Jack from Rolling Ones. He is a huge Seahawks fan, and that's kind of the color
Oh,
scheme of his army. And so I took a Blood Bowl human and put him up as a Lord Celestin.
that's badass. I remember seeing that video. That was awesome. And that model. Beautiful.
Love the humans in this. Some people say they're too ornate. I say they're not ornate enough. We need more feathers. We need them taller. This guy's baller with the mustache and oh yeah, I like it. So as I'm gonna say with pretty much every single one of these, I want to love this, but they didn't give me enough to fall in love with. If that
Yeah,
makes sense.
I think for a game like this, they really have to pull at some type of heartstring for me.
Well, for sure, and that's the thing where it's like, if you're like you say the two of us, right? Where okay,
Yeah.
Blood Bowl, it's if you're as long as your friend has a board, it's pretty minimal to get into. Like you don't have to spend an army's worth of money in Age of Sigmar terms or anything like that. So you have to make it appealing to us by making it not seem scary and overwhelming. But then, people who are super passionate about Blood Bowl are sitting here going like, well, what do you mean? Like they said that they're streamlining the rules, but with no information. So you have half the thing of just being like, I don't know, I have no reason to get excited about this because the game's too complex. And then your existing players are like, what are you changing? Like,
Yeah, it's like the fantasy to AOS situation multiple years
exactly,
ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would really really love to love Blood Bowl. Honestly, like it's such a fun idea for a game, and like when if you've ever played the online version, it really is a ton of fun. But
So through Steam, I assume?
yep,
I'm
yep,
gonna
yep.
write this down.
Yeah, you can get it
Oh,
pretty cheap, and it has it walks you through like a tutorial campaign as humans. Um, yeah, it's pretty rad.
awesome.
So I'm gonna go ahead and Mark Wilson. All the new rules leaked already for Blood Bowl. Tell me more, Mark. Anyway,
Yeah, tell us more so that we won't know what we're talking about.
yeah, yeah, exactly. One of the things I do like is that they have. I wish they did this for all their supplement games. Is like the Spike magazine, where it's like, hey, here's like a quarterly book that comes out. It's just like I mean,
A super thin thing that makes sense and that it looks like I would assume it does some type of rules fixing, but I don't know.
it's not just that. It's almost like imagine if they came out with a quarterly thing of like the Karngrad Herald, and it was all the collective updates and side rules and narrative things for Warcry that they put
That
in
would be
like
nice.
yeah that they put in like White Dwarf or whatever. Like that kind of stuff is awesome. So anyway, and then a couple of books, and then we're going to spend some time on what I think is probably the main event for both of us, and that is Warcry. So since I took the reins on Blood Bowl because you hadn't played it,
Sure.
my friend, tell me what you think about Blood
So
Bowl.
Warcry overall as a game, I think it's fantastic, super simple to get into, move a couple models around. You can have up to 5 to what is it, 12 or 15 models, so you really don't even need that much. But this book idea is someone I'm gonna be selfish here.
Go for it.
Someone who is probably forced to buy all 4 books because I have so many of these war bands and I create battle reports and I probably need to get all the info out of all these. I'm expecting to probably spend $120 on all these books, and that is absolutely ridiculous. But
So they call them battle tomes, but I don't know what that means. Because like a battle tome is worth so much more than just the literal game rules, which are reprinted
Exactly.
time to time. It has painting tutorials, it has narrative missions, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know what the price point will be. Everything for Warcry has been flimsy little soft covers, so I'm assuming they're going to be about 20,
It-
$25 each.
I put down if it's $20 for a price point, I'd be happy, but
Yeah.
I don't expect it to.
Yeah. Fair.
But hey, I mean, maybe we'll see. And also, I don't know how important these are really going to be to someone who's had the game since the beginning.
For
Like,
sure.
I already have a lot of the cards. Is that going to matter at the end of the day?
Yeah.
But we'll see.
So, okay, let's do this instead. Let's go. Let's walk
Sure.
through this article here. And I do have the video pulled up, and I have the volume lowered so it doesn't blast everyone's eardrums out. But
Thank you, Doug.
yeah, new factions enter, but they don't show any. Oh, that's not true. They show the Realm Lords and the Cities of Sigmar.
Yeah, they showed cities. I think that's really the only faction that really isn't in the game, though.
Lumineth.
Lumineth. Well, I think they're coming out with stuff, correct? For Lumineth, too.
I do not know. I know that they had cards in a White Dwarf, same as Cities of Sigmar. So this might just be condensing them.
I would assume. So we'll see. But
Okay.
oh, they showed Lumineth in the trailer, so they have to be in there. I don't see why they wouldn't be. But yeah, so that covers your two war bands essentially at the end of the day. But
Yeah.
two, not well, except the massive giants, but that ain't happening. So
Totally. That would be amazing in Mega Gargant.
oh yeah,
So here's what it says. Okay, I'm sorry.
wouldn't even fit on the board.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, if he can kick terrain, he can make a board. He just kick
That
it
would
right
be-
off.
That would be pretty badass.
Spezia, thank you so much, buddy. Because of you, I spent last night playing Warhammer Underworlds online against the bot, learning the game, and we're going to be doing that next week. So that's for you. So it says here, each book takes a deep dive into death, destruction, chaos, or order, including background tables, lore, and loads more. I'm going to pause there. I need to think about that for a second, because we've already had most of that printed. No, it's almost all been printed, right? Except for the lore part.
Yeah, and also
Okay.
like I would obviously, Doug, you're more of a lore buff than myself, but how many pages of lore are going to be in there compared to Monsters and Mercenaries or Toma Champions or the main core book? How much can they really add at the end of the day? I hope tons.
Yeah, it depends. So if they're angling Warcry to be like an entry product, I can see each faction having like a good page spread, kind of like the core book is like,
Yeah.
and because they want you to get excited about a specific faction, which would be cool. I really want, since day one, I've still wanted lore for the core warbands outside of that one novella they had. Like the Chaos Warbands, they don't have a lot of information, but they put out a Black Library book, but that's about it.
Oh, 100% agree with you. I think it would be nice to have like a good few pages on at least each of them,
Mm-hmm.
Like, why is that guy on fire running around? I'd love to know why,
Yeah. So it says here, each book contains warbands for your Grand Alliance. Okay, so we're going to assume they're just kind of collating them all together.
Yep.
Profiles and fighter cards, which
I already have them,
Yeah,
So
you have them. I mean-
mostly all of them, but
oh, and actually, I'm looking at these. That might actually be a hardcover book. You can see based on the little on the border on the side. I might be wrong.
you're right. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't
Find
know.
out soon, hopefully.
Rules for using monsters with an exclamation point because they have also forgotten about Monsters and Mercenaries.
Yeah, maybe everyone did. I love that book.
I
It's one of
know.
my favorite books.
Well,
Honestly.
it was one of the wasn't it the first book that had like so it had fated quests, which are just optional things that you can do instead of a normal mission on your campaign. But didn't it also have some of the
Well, it's
first?
got all the allies that you can throw in,
Yes.
like a shaman or a chaos lord, and all your fun stuff.
Yeah.
And just like the big ass hydras and gargants and Cygors and stuff that you can just throw in for fun,
Mm-hmm. And that's really it. So we're gonna pause here. We're gonna say, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say maybe they just weren't ready to reveal stuff. They do say that there's going to be another preview tomorrow, which tells me that Warcry is probably going to go up for pre-order tomorrow.
most likely
Yeah.
either
Or
tomorrow or early next week
what
or
is
something,
it?
or next week on the weekend.
Catacombs. Yeah, specifically the
Yeah,
Catacomb
Catacombs.
set. I don't know about the books, but the Catacomb
Yeah.
set will go up. So, what would you like to see out of it? let's just let's just spitball. We'll start
Sure.
with Catacombs and then we'll get to the books.
Okay, so we'll start with Catacombs first. Well, I guess first things first, the Catacombs models. I don't know if we can pull up like an old preview of the Science of Flames and the oh shoot, what are they? The Canite, whatever you call them.
Yes, give me just a moment and I will do that thing that you said.
But honestly, I'm just looking forward to those models and trying them out. The terrain, I'm also looking forward to, but something that's, and you can't tell. I think once you pull up an image of it, I don't know if the terrain is as robust as the original box set that came out when the game, when Warcry initially showed up. Hello, everyone. It's just me. But anyways, so hopefully it is more impressive than what the art actually shows. I hope it is. Other than that, I mean, as long as they throw a bunch of skulls in it, it should be good.
Okay. They have like 10, I swear they have like 1,000 of these different kinds of previews that don't help me at all.
Oh yeah, and on like 14 different websites too.
Yeah, all different page articles.
I'm also curious what the box set price is going to be. I can't remember what the original Warcry box set was. If someone in the comments knows, that would be fantastic.
Okay, I'm gonna throw.
I
it
think
up
it was
on
200 plus. But
okay, so you can't see it, but I have the Warcry thing pulled up. So for the what the old one was. So sorry, this is Catacombs. Let's see. So I'm looking at it now. So we have the Canite Warband, the Fire Dudes, and here is the money shot of the table. Okay. So the terrain is way more minimal. There's no buildings. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It looks like 10 doorways. So I can imagine probably like like a double set of sprues for that.
yeah,
Because there's
thank you.
two of each.
170. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
I would assume it would be the same price. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess I can't assume. I would hope.
I mean, you can
it would
assume
at
all
least
day.
be the same price. Yeah, I am. You know what happens when you assume, But anyway.
Yeah, I know, but like, I say this joke because they're friends of the channel, but Warhammer Weekly shoots hot takes all the time, and they're wrong like 90% of the time, but they still get
Yeah,
to
I
brag
guess
about
that's
how
true,
right they
yeah.
are.
Oh, I love it. I love watching those guys just say all the funny stuff. It's great.
So I'm trying to count. I see, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I count Canite models. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 of the Fire Boys, but I might be missing one. Oh, 7 over here. Yep.
The Canite leader is absolutely gorgeous. That model's badass.
Yeah, and that here's how I view this box. Okay, and in conjunction with the 4 Grand Alliance books, when Warcry dropped, there was a lot of, I guess not, it wasn't really negativity in my opinion. It was more just like the steam kind of let out because people wanted more complexity. They kind of frankly wanted Mordheim, like a new version of Mordheim.
Yep.
And I don't think that is, as long as they were reasonable about what they were asking for, it was not a bad idea. It was not a crazy thought. And I was having this discussion when I was playing a 3-player free-for-all game last Friday, where one of the guys I was playing against, Max, is one of my favorite opponents for any game system we play, and he's like, my problem with Warcry is I just really can't stand, when you draw the deployment or mission cards, and one side's going to be an auto win.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, that's a thing.
That kind of stuff. Yeah, and so what I said to him was like, well, here's the thing: is like the system that they created is amazing in the sense that all it takes is like 2 books to change everything. Like the board space is dope. You know what I mean? They seem to be using the 30 by 22 on a lot of stuff now. The models are phenomenal. Like, people love the terrain. There's just so much going for it that if all it is rules, we can fix that with books. Like, and that's not an answer everybody wants, but it's the one I can give.
I mean, it makes sense at the end of the day. They have this awesome creative freedom to kind of do sort of what they want with the game,
For sure.
and they make it so simple that grandma can, you can get grandma to come play. But
Do you do that often?
no, not at all. Oh, I don't know if grandma would be happy, but we'll see.
Oh man. So, it's one of those things I try to have a little bit of an open mind when it comes to that. Just like this can get better, this can be awesome. If these books, right, the Catacomb set and the 4 Grand Alliance books, were them saying, okay, listen, we have a renewed vision for Warcry, we want to use it for guiding people into AOS and getting armies and that kind of stuff. And they revamped the rules to make it a little bit more palatable to some folks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all in, 100%. Because it's like, yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the best time to reset this game when all it requires is a couple books and you're not bringing in like endless spells and invalidating models and that kind of stuff.
I agree. And I think they know what they're doing in terms of like, hey, this is a gateway game at the end of the day. You don't have to paint these guys at all. You don't have to paint anything. You just throw everything on the board.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. Not that you have to paint anything for AOS and 40K, but what I'm getting at more is that, the guy who's never played a war game in his life can come get this box set, be like, wow, this looks cool, and actually learn how to play the game right away. Be relatively successful at it.
Yeah. And someone in the chat, Zosi's thank you, pointed out, it does come with, it looks like half the set of the terrain. So there is the bell tower and 2 buildings and some walkways and stuff.
Oh, that's awesome. Because then I can take that and do whatever I want with it. So that's great.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly. I'm going to use this to
perfect.
make a super derpy structure that doesn't fit on this board at all.
Nope. No, not at all. That would be great. Cool.
But yeah, so I have mixed feelings. If they're taking this opportunity with all these products to give us something awesome, I'm all in. If it's just reprints, that sucks.
And I think we'll tell over probably like the next 6 to 12 months really how, because I think they had like a 3-year period where they have sort of so much time planned, and then they'll see how the game goes, and then if they want to add more and things and so on and so forth,
Yep.
then they can do that. And I think we're getting kind of to that midpoint of that time frame, I feel. So we'll see what this next, rest of this time is going to pull for us as folks who like the game.
For sure. Yeah, and that's it's anecdotal, but I do ask around whenever I meet up with a GW store manager or just any game store manager that sells GW products, and ask them like, how's Warcry or Underworld selling? And I have heard nothing but good things. So it's interesting. Like maybe round 1 was them testing the waters on this format for fantasy, and now they're like, oh, we need to like get our plan together and
yeah, exactly.
Kick this up a notch. And if that's the case, I'm like I said, I'm on board. It'll only get better. But
I agree. Yeah. Like when AOS first started out, it was shaky, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you play Necromunda, Donnie?
No, I don't. I know enough about it, but I don't play Necromunda.
Yeah. So one of the things that they're doing, they're having this very awkward transition of going from a book that covered all the gangs to now each gang kind of having their own individual codex, so to speak.
Oh, that sounds. Ugh.
Well, it's a mixed bag. Yeah. So the problem is like each of these faction specific books is freaking awesome. It's what people always wanted. The problem is that you already sold them a bunch of $50 books before. And so that's the kind of thing where I'm like, okay, if they're doing this to change course before they sell us a whole bunch of more crap that's not going to work, I'm okay. Like, all right, I'll pay $25 for my, chaos book that has pretty much all the factions I'd want anyway.
Yeah, and for the average consumer, not someone like you or me, where it's like getting all these books, it's probably going to be a need more than a want. But
yeah, absolutely.
if you're more into chaos, just see what the chaos book can have for you. I'm just curious what really extra they're going to throw in these books.
Yeah,
So we'll see.
and that's kind of my thing is like all of that hinges upon big design changes in the game, but they didn't mention anything like, hey, we're going to update the original Chaos Warbands to bring them in line with others.
Hmm.
I mean, and honestly, I think it just needs to revisit their ability sheet. I think the fighters are fine, but the abilities need a look.
Yeah, the abilities and a couple of the stats on some of the war bands are a little lackluster.
Mm.
Night Haunt, to be specific, not to bash on some badass models, but
Yeah, yeah.
it is what it is at the end of the day. And if they could just print out a book that actually had the correct numbers for fighter costs and abilities, that would be
Mm.
fantastic. But I can't promise anything.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I'll
So
I'll say that I am cautiously optimistic. How would you rate that?
I would I would even go a step below me personally, and I would just go cautious. Um,
Okay.
I like I I wish I was more optimistic about these books, but also the reveal was very limited, very nothing. We're literally throwing our crap in the wind right now and just hoping it sticks somewhere. But it, we'll see. I'm not I don't want to bash anything super hard yet or say super positive things about it yet, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm holding out.
Yeah, yeah.
One thing I think they may do, which is similar to AOS, is because they're doing the specific for faction books, I'll do a lovely hot take here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that they will do some sort of ability stats for specific order warbands. So
Ooh.
you
Okay.
could do like bring some Stormcast and Cities of Sigmar models together, and then you have your abilities for just overall order
Yeah.
or something like that.
No, that'd be great. And then maybe Grand Alliance specific campaign things.
Yeah, that would be very cool.
Yeah.
So if they pop in something like that, my cautiously rating goes to way more optimistic rating at the end of the day, because then you can really start mixing and mashing everything you want. Now
For
that may
sure.
be very hard to uh, essentially plan and scale with other warbands, but we'll see.
Yeah. That's the thing is like the last couple of articles they had for Warcry as well. They weren't showing anything new. It was like, check out the Tome of Champions, that kind of stuff, which is like they're great
Yeah.
articles, but it's I don't know. It's very interesting to me. So that one's kind of a question mark. Apparently, we'll get some more information tomorrow, but the problem is, friends, I was hoping to pack up my computer today, so I won't be available. But Donnie, did you say you're looking or hopefully going to do something tomorrow?
Yeah, I put a thing up. I think tomorrow, I forgot if I did noon or 1 o'clock. This would be Eastern time.
Yeah,
But it should be up on my channel. You can pop over there and take a peek.
please do, because I will absolutely watch that and be in the comments because I want to. I mean, I want to talk about it. I was hoping to talk about it today.
Yeah, me too, because I prefer to talk with someone else rather than by myself and
For
have
sure,
someone
yeah.
bash my opinion. So they can just bash both of our opinions. But
For sure. And I'll be honest, like I get accused of being too positive all the time, but it's like I will be very disappointed if these are just straight reprints. But
yeah,
you
we'll
know,
see.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll check it out.
I would say to mostly everyone, hold off on buying the book until some website shows you 20 pages of it.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
That would be my personal opinion, but
Yeah,
we'll see.
I'm kind of in that same boat as you, where I'm probably going to pick them up anyway. Like GW doesn't, they've never sent me a Warcry thing before,
Yep.
so yeah, I don't expect to get any of these. But yeah,
Man,
I'll
I'd
grab
love if they sent me a Warcry thing.
it. Yeah, yeah.
That's okay. They don't have to do that.
Let's see, and then we have the last one here is Warhammer Underworlds. Do you play Underworlds?
No, but these models, I generally try to. I would want to play something that I could put on the channel, and unfortunately, Underworlds, you have to have an opponent.
Yep.
Like you have to have an opponent,
Yep.
and I don't know if I could convince a couple buddies to get into it, but I will say, those that Slanesh Beast of Chaos, looking like you'd find him on a street corner in the night. That model, that model's awesome. I love it.
I assume you mean he's dressed like a crossing guard, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
absolutely,
Letting
of course.
kids,
Uh-huh.
get to school in the morning, things like that. But no, that model is,
Of course,
I
Night
love it.
Watchman.
Mhm.
That's wonderful. Yeah, they do
Absolutely.
look fantastic. I'm just playing the video right now.
Yeah, Underworlds is one of those games because I used to play Magic a lot too, and that would definitely be one of those that I could. I have a few of the war bands that actually have just painted up for Warcry because they slot in so well. Um,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but
absolutely, they
yeah,
do.
this is a pretty cool set.
Um, for me specifically, so I've talked about it numerous times. Warcry is a game that like, I love everything about it except for the deck building, which unfortunately is like a third of the game at least.
Yeah, yeah,
But because it has been requested so much that I cover it, I've been learning it more and more and trying. The deck building, it's not nearly as complicated as I thought it was initially because there's very strict things on like this is how many of this kind of card you can have, and so like
makes sense.
when you're playing the digital version, it kind of corrals all that for you. But yeah, so I like it. It's growing on me. If I move to Iowa and someone plays it locally, I'm in like Flynn, but I don't want to be the only person playing it.
Exactly. And a
Yep.
lot of these models too, like I don't expect to pick up any Slanesh models or any Lumineth models for, my own personal armies or anything like that. But, if you get two of these boxes, you probably have a warband, a Warcry warband, easy.
Oh, for sure. Andrew, no, we're moving on to Dire Chasm, the Warhammer Underworlds. There's only table building in Warcry.
Yeah. So yeah, it was pretty sad today, but that's okay.
Dude, can
That it.
you imagine a whole unit of these like Slaanesh looking Zangor
That would be,
or
oh
Gore?
man, that would like make me get the army, I think, because I love my Beasts of Chaos.
Oh yeah.
They're Oh man, that would be amazing. They all just look like ladies and men of the night. It's great. With because you need a crab claw. Why not?
Yeah, of
You
course you
know,
do. Yep.
that's oh,
Give him
it's
the
the next model.
clamps, and he just comes in. Ching, 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 ching.
Yeah, exactly. It's fantastic.
I'm just kind of cycling through. Okay, so now, as was requested by my Discord, we have to have the discussion. Who wore it better, saggy
Oh,
pajama pants, Teclis, or her? There's a few other people wearing it too. Just those two. What are your
I don't know,
thoughts?
Doug. Which one? Well, I'd like your opinion first, so then I can completely agree with you.
I'm gonna say this gal
Statue
because
of the pants.
be,
Oh
because
man.
her arms are up like Teclis's, but she's actually holding something as opposed to doing the Rio de Janeiro Jesus statue pose.
Yeah, that's true. And he can snap off of that Sphinx in 2 seconds. This one, at least you have a model that won't snap off. So
It is
that's good.
true. Yep. So
Yeah, I agree with you, Doug. Pajama pants. Also, like the Realm Lords they're badass, and the Warhammer painting style is cool, but it's just kind of bland for me. But
for Teclis.
yeah, it's all just kind of bland at the end of the day for me. Like I want crazy colors and well,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily need half naked people, but like half naked goats. That's cool.
Well, one of the things I saw for Teclis that I absolutely loved was someone painted him like in pure white and gold, like as if he was literally like the avatar of light. But
Oh,
then
that's cool.
then the beast that he's next to was painted like the studio scheme, like kind of just a normal animal, but
Yeah,
with the OSL lighting, it looked terrific. So
that'd be cool.
that's about the only
But
one
yeah,
I liked.
way better than I could do, so that's good.
Yep. Yeah, yeah. I'm glad someone could make this look awesome.
Yep.
It's not
Yep.
me. um, let's see.
But yeah, Underworld's one of those games that I wish I could get into. Not that I couldn't get into, but I wish I had other people around me that were into it. Because a hex just seems so simple at the end of the day. It just seems
Yep.
nice and easy. I don't have to worry about tape measures and crap.
Well, my thing, we can kind of back this up talking about skirmish games in general. For me
Yeah.
specifically, I am all about. Let me just pull you up here. There we go. So,
Oh, thanks, Doug.
no problem. So for me, like the reason I loved Warcry when it came out was because it allowed me to have the best thematic experiences with the least amount of work in terms of how big your board size is, how much you have to collect, like for a full army, all that kind of stuff. And Underworlds has a lot of that too. I mean, when it comes to like upgrades for specific characters, like I was playing the Iron Jaws Warband the other day, and like they're just awesome. They just do exactly what you want orcs to do, and it just feels
Oh, I love
fun.
those guys. I actually have those guys for Warcry.
Yeah, I know.
But,
That's the thing.
yeah,
It's just like
they're amazing.
yeah, and so I love that aspect of it. But I don't know. When it gets into the cards and that kind of stuff and keeping track of the seasons, I'm like, oh,
Yeah, and a lot of stuff turns over, at least in my opinion, a little quick. I understand that, GW wants to make money, but like I would say Warcry kind of has needed something. So hopefully that with Catacombs, that gives it that something. But I feel like every time, maybe it's because I'm not actively playing Underworlds, but every time I look, I swear they have a new Underworlds warband, and I'm happy
yeah,
that maybe I could use it for something else. But
Yeah,
also, as a player who may want to hop back and forth between, I guess, their deck and things like that, it may be a little overwhelming. But what do I know?
yeah. That's the thing. I don't want it to fall into that same world like I was talking about with Blood Bowl, where it's like, this is a great game, but I can only play it digitally because it does all the the thinking that I struggle with in terms of remembering rules, or even the way that organizes like your cards for deck building is very intuitive for me. So I like the online version. We'll see how well that does with the miniatures.
That's another one that I should look into getting, because I haven't played any games in a minute, so Underworlds would be fun.
It is fun. It is fun. I will say the starter decks they give you are sad, but
Oh well.
once you play around for 2 seconds,
Same thing with Magic Arena. Same
Oh,
old,
yeah.
same old crap. But
okay. Spezia has a question for us. Would you rather have Warcry bands be battle line, or would you like to be able to take your favorite model from Underworlds and get an AOS unit out of it?
ooh, I think if this is my personal opinion, I think if the Underworld's models had a larger base, so you could have a more heroic hero, I think that would be preferred. But I think I'd have to go the Warcry bands as battle line.
Yeah. For me,
But also the bands, like some of the bands with the different base sizes. I know they do that with Slaves to Darkness, but it's kind of, I don't know. It seems weird to me. It seems weird when you're pushing up like a group of 7 guys, which is a weird number to me anyways. It's not like a 10 or a 15 or a 20 or whatever. I don't know.
you didn't play fantasy battles when they sold knights
Well,
in packs of 8, or you're just like,
yeah.
what am I going to do with this?
Yeah, that sounds absolutely terrible. So, but yeah, that's just my personal opinion. What were you gonna say, Doug?
No. I was actually thinking, I looked around my office the other day as I was packing everything up. I was like, man, I have a ton of Warcry warbands, and they're all chaos, but they can't be battle line. I was like, I would love to have a list where I could actually,
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know, Stormcast invaded during the middle of a gladiatorial arena pit, and everyone's just like, okay, pause, pause, game on, and then we go out, and everyone works together to kill the Stormcast, kind of a thing.
That would be cool. It would give me more of a reason to buy. Yeah, again, this is a GW thought. It give me more of a reason to buy multiple boxes of something too. Like, really, ever since I guess we'll call it a first season of Warcry came out.
Yeah.
I bought one box of generally most of the warbands, Chaos warbands that they came out with, and I haven't really bought another one since. One, because I don't feel like spending another $50 for probably like 1 or 2 models I might want.
Right.
But also, I have no other reason to put them in anything else. So that's what it is.
Yeah, I ended up buying, I think it was a total of like 3 sets of the Untamed Beasts.
Yeah.
And the reason is because when I was getting ready to film my campaign, which I'm going to restart here once I get into the new place, I made my own rules about characters are supposed to die, and so I wanted to have different models for each person. But like, there was no company incentive for me to actually do that. So.
Oh no, unless you want like 6 kitties and have that be your warband or something like that. Actually, I don't think you can do that, but that would be cool.
Yeah, I don't know. So Anyway, and there was one last thing here.
Oh, it was their attempted animations. Oh, did I say that? I meant their Warhammer lovely animations that they created.
I have not actually watched this, so I got the volume turned down so it doesn't blast out eardrums. Let's see.
There wasn't too much in terms of audio that was going with it, but I didn't. What is the other YouTube channel that they created like an amazing 40K like 5 little like few minute episode series?
Oh,
And
okay.
I believe they did it by themselves.
I was watching the wrong one here. Okay.
Oh, the thing at the very, very bottom is a really crappy teaser to Kill Team that they tried to throw on us.
Yeah, we'll chat about that next. I'm watching the animation right now. Let's see.
Such hatred, such loss.
Huh.
I see what they're going. They have a few different animation types that they're going at, and I would assume that Games Workshop has a wonderful budget that they could put into this, but it just doesn't seem as, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it's really capturing me. There's some cool stuff to it for sure, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
Some of it looks like a 2003 video game that it's like the game trailer. It's just like, oh man. But
I'll be honest. I'm not an animation guy, like American animation or anime. I don't like. I can't look at animation and kind of give like an intelligent opinion about like.
Oh, me either. This is my super uneducated opinion that someone's gonna bash me about. But when they tease, so they have the 3 images, and when they tease that bottom image and say, "Oh yeah, it's just what they did is they made a fist come in and punch a guy in the face," it's like everything's black. I get it. It might be an art style and things like that, but yeah, I don't know.
No, I get it.
But Toby, what you said right there, that's absolutely right. The Astarte stuff, it's gorgeous.
Is that the black and white with red kind of a thing?
Yeah, the one image at the bottom that
Yeah.
I was watching the stream today and they were talking about that. I'm like, oh, that's not that impressive. Like I could draw that and I can't draw. So, but it's what it is.
Okay. Oh, yeah. This is about, yeah.
If they did some cool fantasy, I'm more into fantasy anyways at the end of the day, or medieval, I guess, fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that would be cool to see. But, I'll watch it when it pops up, but I'm going to compare it to other previous people who have done just as amazing work.
Yeah. I'm looking at the definition of the word nonplussed right now because I don't.
Nonplussed? Tell me what it is, Doug. I assume
adjective.
Not interested.
Surprised and confused so much that they are unsure how to react. I think that's a
There you
pretty
go.
good. Yeah, thank you. Stuart, you taught me a word and I love it because that is apparently nonplussed is how I spend about 80% of my life. So by that
100% agree, Stuart. That fits perfect. Now, I'm going to have to start putting that into my actual vocabulary.
Yeah, I read the definition and I was like, oh, that's just me. So let's see here. We got one last thing. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about Kill Team because honestly, they don't talk much about Kill Team.
And they didn't in this video.
No.
So,
but the one thing I will add is that they talked about the Pariah Nexus as being a setting for it. And if you are not familiar, the Pariah Nexus is actually a really cool idea that they've been bringing into a few different, parts of 40K. I'll come back to us here. So, where did I put it? Aha! It hopefully will tie into this. This is the Pariah Nexus Crusade book. It's basically a setting and a whole bunch of special rules and missions for playing in this location. It was pretty cheap and it's spiral bound. It's everything I want for Warcry. Just like, here's a section of Karngrad. We're going to explore it. You know what I mean? And here's some cool abilities and triumphs and all this kinds of stuff. It's just...
and a nice small book like that, too.
Yeah.
Perfect for this specific game, too. Like, I don't need these 3 monster books to carry around.
Exactly. Yep. And that's kind of what I was thinking.
Now what, 4 more and then another one? So,
Uh-huh.
So 8 books? So 8 books for a skirmish war game? I don't need 8 books, but anyways.
Well, good
enough
news for
about that.
you. Most of it's reprinted, so you don't need to carry all it.
Oh, you're right. I can just rip out the pages in Monsters and Mercenaries
Exactly.
and then half the Tome Champions. But
You could be that guy who shows up to the game store with like you're like 2 books, but out of those 2 books fall a whole bunch of like crappily photo scanned pages, just like
oh, it would be amazing. And I hope I'm completely wrong about what I just said, but I don't think I will be. But
yeah. It's they've done it before, and I'll say that if they go forward from there, I'll be happy. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how to feel right now.
yeah, and then you got people like me who's going to buy them anyway. So it's just like, what? Why am I complaining?
So yeah, so I like the idea of Kill Team. It's a very cool thing. I more so than Kill Team because, like I said, they didn't preview anything in this.
No.
But the idea of taking a location in the universe and like giving all the factions a reason to be there, something unique and flavorful to it. If that's what they're going to do with it, because there's no other reason why they would specifically point out a geographical location as, you know what I mean? Like,
It's got to be some sort of like quest system, campaign system,
Yeah.
which would be cool to do. So
yeah. So, I mean, I want them to move that direction for AOS and Warcry and that kind of stuff of like, and maybe that's what Catacombs is, which is just like, we're looking at the underhive of Karngrad, in which case, I'm all in. Take my money.
yeah, that'd be cool. And you and I are both more narrative guys at the end of the day, so that's more enjoyable for folks like us.
For sure. Yeah, I know. I imagine there is a small vocal minority of very hardcore matched play Warcry players, but I have yet to meet them. So
Oh, same here. So yeah, and to be honest, I'm okay with that. So
so let's see. We've been going about 45 minutes here. Chat, I'm going to open it up to you guys. Do you have any questions for me, for Donnie? I'm just going to say while you're typing those out, go subscribe to this guy. I don't think my video saved before I put the link, but I will put the link in the description and the top comment on this.
just type in Dice Chatter, you'll find it,
Yep.
and I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
always nice to have a channel like yours have little old me on. So
Oh, no. I still feel little. Because the second, yeah, you're like, you might feel like big potatoes, and then you Google literally any other interest on the internet, and you realize how small Warhammer is, and you're like, oh no, I'm quite little potatoes.
the fact that you can talk about something that is so minor and minute in our society today, and you still have both of us at the end of the day still have some sort of following behind that. It's kind of neat, and it's cool that we can bring folks like all of you together. It's awesome. But
For sure. Okay, we got a question here. I'm going to let you take the reins because I've been talking for so long. Question.
What's your dream combo of Anvil Rules and Crusade in AOS?
Mm-hmm.
What's the best way to continue with Warcry? I like that question better.
Okay, yeah, go for it. Answer whichever one you want.
What's your best way to continue with Warcry after the starter set? I would say if you have a buddy or two that you're actually playing the game, try a different warband, or even better yet, just get a super cheap. What am I trying to say? You can probably find some good deals for either the basic Chaos warbands, or you can find like a handful of Nighthaunt or a handful of Stormcast or whatever, and just try to make like a crappy warband and just fight against each other.
Yeah.
And also, I guess this depends on your own hobby interest. Try making your own terrain, because then you can add it maybe 4 inches high, or maybe 2.5 inches high, so when you fall off, you actually don't fall off and hurt yourself. Whatever you want to do, I think that would be cool. And I'm always a big fan of making terrain. So
yeah. Spetsy, I'll answer your question, but I want to answer the one that Donnie just did as well. For me, I think something cool. If you so let's say you found your soulmate, and one of you just loves Untamed Beast, and the other one just loves Iron Golems, and you're just as happy as you could be, because that's
what
just
a soulmate.
Yeah, I know. I would probably go with Monsters and Mercenaries, a cheap book, and then just pick a hero that you think is cool, because those allies and stuff, they dramatically change your warband if you put them on the table. So like I did Corvus Cabal with a Lord of Blights, who is just this fat
Cool.
anchor in the center of the board. And the rest of my stuff is all lithe and fast, and they, can ignore vertical distance and all this kinds of stuff. But having something that that plays completely opposite and kind of fills in a gap, so to speak, in your army is kind of fun. It's actually a lot of fun, I think. But
Yeah, to go off of that too, the Monsters and Mercenaries book is fantastic, and I don't even think it's that, well, compared to their other books, as expensive either.
No.
And it's got a bunch of good stuff in it too.
Yeah.
It really just expands the model count for the game.
Exactly. It brings in a bunch of cool heroes, and you can, at that point, you have all the supplement rules you need. And now, at this point, knowing that these books are coming, I'd probably say just hold off, because our answers might change depending on
Yes, that is true.
what they do to change the game. So, I don't know. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So I do want to answer Spezia's thing real quick. What does your dream combo of Anvil rules and Crusade in AOS? For me, it would be go to the Open War Army Generator, and this is for the design team at GW. Pick one of the options that has like a hero and a few different units, something that matches up loosely with Start Collecting boxes. And then the whole point is you get to make whatever hero you want, but they're on, a range of bases, either like a 25 mil if it's a small dude, up to a 40 mil if it's a Stormcast or Nurgle dude. But that's it. And then you can build that hero, customize him. If you know about the Crusade system, your heroes start with absolutely nothing, and then you have to basically requisition stuff to make them good. Yeah, that's what I would say. So just pick a small, loose army generator thing, and then build from there. Let's see.
Jacob had a good question.
Go for
it. Favorite part of today's announcement, and how does that measure up to what you were hoping for or expecting? My personal opinion, to bounce off that, let's combine today and tomorrow, and my favorite announcement will be Catacombs.
There we go. That's super fair.
Well, I copped out of your question. Sorry, Jacob. But...
Yeah, so I will say, honestly, only because I played way too much Underworlds last night. Dire Chasm, because they actually gave you some information and about the war bands and that kind of stuff, I was just like,
oh yeah,
it's just a better reveal. It got me more excited. But yeah, the Catacombs thing, hopefully tomorrow we'll have some meaningful information. I don't know if these books are going to drop at the same time, but yeah.
I don't know either. For some reason, I don't think they will. I feel like they'd be after.
Part of me wonders if they want Catacombs to come out first, and it's going to be something that's very different from what Warcry's been up till this point, and then give us like a week or two to kind of settle what the difference is, and then drop the book so that now our armies are fully supported.
Yeah, I think you're going to be right at the end of the day. What else do we got?
Favorite Slaanesh dudes. Do you think with the cover on the Chaos Warcry book that we would get rules for the current models? Yeah, I think they would have everything.
I would hope so. If they don't, then oh man, that really sucks.
Yep. Yeah.
Pyromancer, you're welcome.
My thought is they're going to all the cards that they've released that were always limited runs, which was always a dumb idea, I think. I think they're just collating them all, which is, on one hand nice. On the other hand, it's like, but these books need to bring something new as well. So yeah. Declan, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that name. Any type of warbands for Warcry or Underworlds you would like to see? Spitball. What would you like if you could walk into a Games Workshop, kick in the door, and be like, "My name's Donnie, and this is what you're making."
Like any sort of like creature or race or anything?
Yep.
Oh man, Doug, I want you to go first. Don't throw that on me.
Okay. Well. So you dodged the last question.
Yeah, and I'm gonna send it back to you because, hey, well, I guess I'm the guest, so I shouldn't be doing that.
No, you're good. I'll go first. So for Underworlds, I'm pretty good actually. I really just want the Worm Spat to come to online so I can play around with them before I start actually playing the game in person, hopefully with people. As far as Warcry goes, I want So like the starter set of warbands, they all kind of align to different realms, but I want one that leans sort of in a Nurgle direction.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the Iron Golems kind of they hint a lot towards Khorne. You got the Cypher Lords hint a lot towards Tzeentch and that kind of thing, or Slaanesh and Tzeentch. I don't know. There's a bunch of the kind of they're not aligned, but they kind of lean that way. That's what I want. One for Nurgle.
I'll take the question in a slightly different way. That I literally am going to the because this is what I've been doing all day today. Might as well not stop. I'm gonna go to GW. I'm gonna sit down with the creators and be like, you know what? I want you to take some like Cthulhu type octopus people,
Ooh,
turn that into a war band.
yeah.
I want tentacles. I want I don't know, dark stuff.
Yeah, no, I want an entire army painted in nothing but incubi darkness. Is that
There
kind of
you
like
go.
dark green, teal
That'd be
green?
cool.
Yeah, no, that's sweet, dude. Yeah,
That'd be very cool.
a Cthulhu army would be rad. Let's see. Question: Are Gridhounds living up to the hype in Warcry? I mean, they're good. I haven't played a ton with them.
I haven't either. Yeah.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we're not the best to answer that. But
Yeah.
Jacob, any warbands you'd like to see make the transition across from Underworlds to Warcry or vice versa? I think Doug, you already mentioned it. What's the Nurgle 3 folks from Underworlds? The Wormspat, whatever.
Wormspat.
Yeah.
And they
That
are.
honestly, that would be my transfer over. Those models are awesome. I haven't gotten them or anything, but I just kind of want to paint them.
Yeah. Doug, I do have that Grimwatch warband. Oh, that's right. Awesome. I'm connecting your name with your username here. Thank you so much, buddy. I would love that. We'll get some
Nice.
games in. And then I'm gonna say last question here because we'll be going on an hour, and you got stuff to do today. So
Oh yeah, I guess. I mean, I can be late. I don't care.
So Toxic Candy was asking if there's new rules for factions that previously did not have rules. Yeah, so they did. So you're bringing up the fact that like the Khorne guy is on the front. They released a limited time set of cards for him, or for the Khorne Bloodbound, along with a lot of these factions. So I believe every AOS army has some way of playing Warcry, I think. With the exception of Sons of Behemoth, obviously. But
Yes, I think you're right. Yeah.
so they already have rules. We don't know if they're going to be new or revised, but they're all going to be like collated at some point. So yeah. Okay. Well, my friend, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Thank you so much for joining me. I
appreciate it, Doug.
I wish it was
always a
under
pleasure to
yeah.
chat with you.
Once I get moved and set up, I want to have you back on because, quite frankly, I know that we were both really excited for today, and then this review release was just kind of like a, well, not the release, the preview event was like a.
It is what it is at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I can't complain to chat with a buddy. And also, Doug, you're moving that many more hours closer to where I live, so that's always fun.
You're on the East Coast time, or at least in the time zone.
I'm in Michigan, so I'm still a little bit a ways, but
Okay. Well,
always meet up at Adepticon or something.
once I figure out,
they eventually do that.
once I remember where all the U.S. states are located at, and
We're the one that looks like a glove. Come on, Doug. You
Looks-
gotta know that one.
I like how that's your selling point from Michigan.
We're surrounded by lakes.
yeah.
Big, massive lakes.
Not like in Texas where they're like, oh yeah, we're the ones who can get our independence. We have the guns. And then Michigan's like, we look like a glove. Okay. I'll let you go. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll catch you next time. Happy wargaming.
See you guys. Thank you, Doug.
All right. You are good to go, buddy.